ones. How's everyone doing? It's Corey. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to Gateway season. Whee! We are in an Equinox Gateway. We are in Flux, Equinox Flux. Calling all teams. Getting into alignment now. Yeah, I'm talking into an Andara. It's just one of those days. Hope everyone's doing well. This is just a morning support call with Corey and the tribe and the band of leaders. The band of leaders, where we lead our own way and lead our own path. I want to talk about Equinox and what these gateways mean for us. Oh, as we connect within today, you can already feel the plasma influxes coming in. Good morning. You can already feel the plasma influxes. As soon as I tuned into the alignments, I was like, oh, the plasma's here. And so you can feel the water realms kicking up right now. It's really nice bringing in all of this beautiful water energy, the plasma realms coming in and facilitating and igniting our light body. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on. So to first off open this up, welcome all. Welcome to this sovereign and sacred space as we hold sacred ceremony this morning with our beautiful crystals. Good morning. Talking about the seasons of shifts and the seasons of change. Welcome to Equinox. We're in a once again, what's new with the morning messages? We are in to cue in for ourselves a beautiful transformation if we choose to so step beyond our own limitations. Moon opposed Saturn. There is a this ties into what I'm meaning with Equinox, guys, is that with right now Moon opposition Saturn, which is like, you know, I checked the astrology, my universe will be like, you need to talk about this. Okay, we'll talk about it. The restrictive tendencies, viewing our own limitations in regards to our emotional realms and being able to expand beyond our limitations. When we are in flux in a gateway such as now, where we are tuning into Equinox, right? And the arrival of, here in the Northern Hemisphere, spring, and in the South, fall. It's very much so a time for us to be able to review, guys. Review what we learned, what we're ready to let go of, what we're ready to expand beyond, and what we're willing to liberate from our own lives. Liberation is a key here. Liberation is freedom. There's something about celebrating and igniting who we are in the true passion of us, in the organic representation of us as light, as soul within form, that is really important for these influxes and for these gateways. We can see these as events. There is always a celebration with spring equinox for me, because what we're doing is we're especially here in the Northern Hemisphere, there's an arrival of the blossoming, right? Harvest season's always really exciting too. So fall is always a really wonderful time of the harvest, but spring is we're just blossoming out into what the new level of freedom and new level of liberation is within our own lives. During these passageways and during these influx of events, we can really take the time, guys, to tune within and to start reviewing. What does it mean to review? During this time, we've gone through a lot of lessons and experiences. And a part of the unified field and the unified collective is what I would speak of as a group share of downloads, right? So a lot of the wisdom keepers, the light code keepers, start transmitting data, light codes through the field, through the grids, in regards to lessons and wisdoms that we've learned and obtained over the course of centuries, 26,000 years of human drama. And as a result, we can now begin to implement the wisdom from these downloads. As we are processing the timelines, we're processing the wisdom and really finding out and extrapolating how does this data, this light encoded information, how does it fit into this now moment for our present form of awareness? And then how does that expand into our lifetime of awareness too, and the wisdom that we've gained over lifetimes of troubleshooting what works and what doesn't work. Transmuting dark into light, you know, working with the consciousness and the unconsciousness, working with the realms of our own trauma and the deep healing of the discord that we've been facing, not only through 2020, but the trials and tribulations of our lifetime and other lifetimes. This is really an opportunity for us to really go within and to take a moment, a few moments if we want to throughout the day, and to see, where am I still playing in the realms of limitation and what am I ready to let go of? This is a very beautiful pass-through point of letting go at deeper and deeper levels. But it's always celebrated. Equinox Flux always invites in this celebration of the cleanse and what the cleanse means for us as we celebrate what we are blossoming into, right? And so right now there is this like light code data share that's occurring. So as we shift out timelines and narratives, as we find our soul family, as we're resonating at the soul spark and what the signature of us is, we're able to share these packets of insight with one another to begin healing and transmuting certain variables and certain bandwidths in our own lives, discarding a lot of the old narrative out of our life. Oh my gosh. Interesting. Technology is being silly. Apologies if it cuts in and out, but evidently tech doesn't want to agree with me today. Yeah, you know what? I honor, I love, and I bless technology. I love and I honor, bless the Wi-Fi. And sometimes we just spin too fast, and that's okay. So, you know, this influx of review gives us an opportunity to go deeper within and to really celebrate what we've gone through in lessons and in journeys, honoring and blessing and thanking the master within those sequences and within those energetics and within that consciousness, and then saying, aho, so mote it be, I let it go now, and I choose to receive the newness and the freshness of myself. So this is a revival of spirit. It's a revival of essence. It's a revival of these things. And I know it can be felt here in the Northern Hemisphere as we celebrate what it is to be fully liberated again, what it is to really fully celebrate our freedom and to fully celebrate our sovereignty, which means that under these reviews, we're gifted an opportunity to dissolve the limitations of our own self and to expand beyond that, right? Especially in regards to character roles, especially in regards to the way that our story fits into the collective stage and the collective narrative, and how our story also impacts our own personal relationships and our personal connections, our personal day-to-day. So we have to start looking at where our story and where our narrative still impacts that level of thriving within the form. It's always important to review these things, right? And the thing is that it's to have your pulse on these things, you know, it can be a little sickening and damning constantly having to review and constantly having to change, right? So we have to know when to keep our foot on the gas, on the momentum forward, and when to take a moment to just step back and be grateful for who you are and perfect just as you are here and now, right? So we by no means want to just keep changing, right? A butterfly constantly in the chrysalis, like, you know, the caterpillar going through that transformative cycle over and over and over again, never gives the opportunity of flight to give the wings its opportune expansion and drying period to fully be in the embodiment of who it is here and now. So yet we can see that there's peak times, there's ample times throughout our collective trajectories and throughout our Gregorian calendar that gift us opportunity to fully dissolve and resolve and to see beyond the limitations and to use these gateways and these points of transition as highlighted markers on our journey to really go in and to do this work, and how easy it is to let go of right now too. These passageways always bring up stuff, at least for myself, of looking back at the years before this past year, what's been going on and what we're choosing consciously to let go of. I'm also very much so aware of the collective trauma and the collective trauma field and the collective shadow that we've been working within and we've been navigating under through this expansion. And so we can see the collective shadow without having to go dive into it or get pulled or tugged into it. Hence why a lot of the support network stuff's been coming up with working with, you know, our crystalline friends, working with our crystals as support as we're moving through and shifting through the collective garbage, the collective junk, the collective unconscious, the collective shadow, the blob, whatever you want to call it, right? Is that it does at some level have an effect on us if we are still holding that within the body in regards to the collective and what narratives are ready to shift. So a part of this in my own life has been, you know, very much so taking time to go within and to review and to process the light codes and to process the data of the trauma of the situations, especially in regards to like things like, you know, relationship, right, has been a big one. That one's been up. Self-worth and self-value, another big one. Who am I at a deep intrinsic level, right? What am I ready to shift and change? What is it that I want to become? And if I free myself from the labels of dogma, if I free myself from the labels of New Age, if I even free myself of being a healer or a light worker or a way shower, any of these beautiful titles that we give ourselves, a galactic commander, or a tarot reader, or a magician, if I free out all those labels, what is it that I really want for myself in the new epoch? Like, what is it that I want for myself that I am creating in every now moment? So it's really been an important time within this flux to go within and to do that reparenting, to recognize that there is still a child that's coming online for a lot of us right now, a new version of the child and a new layer of the child and what it means to be integrated as the child and within the expression of joy, right? So the birthing isn't quite here yet. We're still very much I'll state for myself, there's still very much so the masculine and feminine, unification and embodiment of that. And even it was yesterday, a message came through that said, you're about to be a mom and a dad. I'm like, oh my God, having a kid, right? But it's like, these are my kids, right? Like, and Dara's are my kids. I have an inner kid too, right? So it doesn't mean that I'm actually going to have a physical child. But it's that awareness right now that there's still a child being born through this, right? So meaning that there's still going to be, for myself and for the collective child as well. Let's look at the collective child. That the collective child is still going through its freedom and its liberation, right? Because there's been a lot of suppression. And especially with everything that's been going on, it really is, for some of us, we don't have the pulse on some collective triggers and some of the collective body, so we can go through this level of embodiment. But this is why these equinox influxes are really important for us to be able to go within and to review and to dissolve, and to also recognize too that we have infinite access to downloads within the universe that can help us to shift out the polarity that we need to. Because all of us, right, as grid keepers, as light keepers here on planet Earth, as way showers, as we go through our journey, as we go through our lessons, as we go through our levels of change, when we blueprint the solutions or discover what the solution is for us in regards to our own limitations, healing our traumas, the grand unification, and these freedom codes, we upload and share the solutions and the wisdom to the grids, and they are available for all of us to be able to connect to and to tap into. So as a result, right now, a big part of connecting to the planetary body, connecting to the Gaian realms and connecting to the nature and nurture, is that there's a lot of solutions that have been uploaded to the grids that are available for us right now that can facilitate in being able to shift out these limitations and to really embody that liberation for ourselves. Okay, really embody this liberation. We can maximize on these gateways, guys. We can. But here's the other thing too, is that through some gateways, there's a lot of old narratives we have to let go of in regards to gateways and in regards to what we encountered before. If you were a gatekeeper in the past, right, you know what I mean when you go through an equinox influx and then all of a sudden you get smacked by something, or there's some weird subjugation, or like someone comes in and starts acting with their tomfoolery, or you have a close friend that turns on you, right? That was very much so an old epoch way of us viewing these gateway seasons. Even myself, I can feel a little bit of the pull away, being like, oh crap, we're in a gateway season, like what's going to happen, right? And not playing into that, right? There's a lot of old narratives that we are still shifting out, old garbage, old dirty laundry that we're shifting in regards to gateways. And I feel like a lot of the invitation point is really allowing the new and the renewal to be here, and allowing the air epoch to be what it is, to allow this new shift and this new transition to be exactly what it is, and to allow ourselves to finally let go of some really old stories, especially in regards to third dimensional systems, especially in third and fourth dimensional constructs. And it's like, when we finally land and align to what that 5D or New Earth trajectory is can you let go of the addiction to 3D? And can you let go of the addiction to 4D? Can you let go of the addiction to chaos? Can you let go of the addiction of struggle and be triumphant over your own life and really awaken to what that heart-centered reality is that is full of bliss and divine perfection? And to recognize and to get really real with ourselves that there's a lot of people that are still addicted to 3D and 4D. Why? Who knows? There's something that they're still receiving from those constructs. In some way, the disillusionment and the abandonment and the fear has created within itself a construct of happiness that a lot of people don't know how to break out of. There's people that have had to, a lot of us have had to find comfort within struggle, have had to find comfort within insanity, to find comfort within discord, because that was a part of our transmutation cycle. And we learned to love those versions, and we learned to love those realities. Not like we like really cherished it, but it's because we had to find so much comfortability in the uncomfortability that it's like awakening to something that's a lot easier. It's like, whoa, how do we do this? How is it that we truly embody what this epoch means to us? And how do we let the old just be what it is without needing it for lessons, right? Sometimes it's interesting. It's like, sometimes the greatest points of awakening, right? Like, imagine walking down the street, okay? Actually, here's a good one. You're in the house, it's early in the morning, or you had one too many, right? And you kick the door frame, and you smack your toe, and you go, oh, okay? That pain signal is a very loud communication link to your body to let you know that something occurred. That loud pain is what the communication links of the third and fourth dimensional systems are for us to wake up. It's very loud, it's very abrupt, it's very disruptive, right? So to go into these new earth and softer trajectories and softer tones, a lot of the realms of discussion and remembrance are a little bit more subtle. It really is about, first off, what you need to come back to a place of softness and purity in your own life, and what you're calling for it as an experience at a soul level, based upon your soul imprinting, based upon your blueprint, based upon your life path, and based upon what you're here to do here on planet Earth through this ascension cycle. Because everyone's got a different pathway, and sometimes they harmonize, and sometimes there's congruency to them, right? But there's also too the honoring of our autonomous pathway and what it's bringing forward for ourselves, right? So the cataclysmic, the catalytic dismantling, right? The new epoch is gifting us a lot of freedom and a lot of liberation, and a lot of the choice point that we can let the lessons of the old be the lessons of the old, and we can say no more, and we can let go of them at deeper and deeper levels. That we can actually state, hey, ease on my journey is okay. Flow, softness, kindness is okay. I don't need the disruption to wake up out of my slumber. And I'm holding more and more consciousness within my body. The more light and consciousness that I hold within my body, the more that I tune, the more that I remember. I cannot forget anymore. We cannot forget anymore. We will always remember. Better yet, we will always know. We will always know because we do know. The belief system exists within, and we're expanding that more and more through our body, right? So the cataclysmic and the catalytic awakenings, right, are important. Right? Dark night of the soul, dark night of the ego, right? Dark night of the human. Think about what it creates as far as awakening is concerned. But then also think about, for ourselves, learning from a way and stage of love and a means of nurture is also a lot of the newness that might provide a lot of uncomfortability for people, but we're ready for it. And so we have to look at our addictions to the old systems, and where we still need to learn from disruption and abruption, and where can we learn from a place of ease, grace, and flow. And remember that we can surrender to that now and be worry-free. It doesn't mean that our fears naturally come up. It doesn't mean that we feel things and that we go through experiences and we still go through transmutation cycles and we still transfigure all of these old systems out of our life. Oh my gosh. Dang, YouTube. You be like that today, huh? I think I'm back. YouTube just ain't agreeing with me right now. It's okay. I love you, YouTube. I honor you. I bless you. Thank you, YouTube. Okay, so I talk about higher harmonics a lot, and higher light narratives, and higher everything. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, higher harmonics, higher vibrational bandwidth, higher octave, guys, right? We're looking at frequency in hertz, right? So 300 hertz is going to be at a lower vibrational bandwidth range than 432, 536, so on and so forth, right? So we're not playing from a game of separation, but we're also recognizing that there is a channel of our reality stream or our life path that we can tune into here and now that is going to give us an opportunity to expand and flourish and to receive a different experience, right? So if I tune to channel 6, my experience is going to be different than channel 7, channel 8, channel 9, channel 10, right? And a lot of this is that within human measurement, we speak of higher and lower because it gives us an opportunity to kind of know where we're at on the bandwidth or the scale, right? So even in music, right? We have octaves, we have ranges, we have harmonics, we have notes, each one residing at a different octave or a different frequency, higher and lower. The higher and lower is from the sake of measurement, not from the sake of hierarchical or lower archical. So the thing is that there is higher octave bandwidth reality streams that we can navigate here and now. And a lot of it is consciously choosing that which we are going to navigate here and now, but we have to be intentional with our creation. We have to be intentional with what we're calling forward as an experience. because you have the choice to be an unconscious creator and let the universe continue to just deliver things to you like a game of handball, or a game of slapjack. You can kick back and know that you can be intentional with your creation here and now, and you can call forward exactly that which you want to experience for yourself, because that's a part of your freedom and a part of your soul's right to choose. There are still lessons and experiences that are going to gift us the opportunity to shift out of soul imprinting. Some of those things are out of our hands. So it's a delicate balance between being intentional with creation and allowing our creation to be exactly what it is, but also consciously choosing to see the lessons, getting our wisdom and our intuition and our discernment up so loud that we can be able to see these things coming in from miles away. It's called the gift of discernment. And a lot of that is knowing this is an old lesson and I don't need to belong to this anymore. I'll have some mode be shifted out, which is very important for these equinox fluxes, guys, is really first off finding neutrality from the experience, right? Neutralizing our polarity, but also what can we let go of? Think about spring cleaning. This does have not only does it have an energetic effect, but there's also a physical component to this of releasing things from our own life, right? Releasing things from our own lives. And that's what these fluxes and influxes of gateways are really important with. Today with Moon opposition Saturn, we can take this energy today to review our own emotional limitations and how to let go of them and how to expand beyond them too, right? Saturn is a planet of restriction in a lot of ways. There is that, once again, that higher harmonic formation of Saturn that we're all witnessing, but we can actually take this energy today and through all this stuff to begin dissolving and resolving our own struggle, to begin creating ease in our life path and really looking at our limitations and our own restrictions, right? So this is, of course, we have societal restrictions that are still on par too. Here's the thing about the societal restrictions. Am I going to play into that narrative and agree to that narrative? We don't have to agree to the narrative anymore. We don't have to agree to that story. Even if your mom and dad keep projecting it onto you, or your brother and sister or relative or loved one have been projecting it on you, or your partner is projecting it onto you, you can say, no, thank you, I love you, but no, nope, don't need it, don't need it, I don't need it. I'm going to allow myself to see this in a new way, in a new form. And I'm going to allow myself to resonate at whatever that higher octave is, because I can choose to see an easier life for myself. We are facing a lot of stuff with resources right now and restrictions, at least here in the United States. I don't have my pulse on it, but I can sense it, and I know other people are talking about it, and if it shows up in my reality, well, shit. I need to know about it, obviously. So then a lot of it is, how do we move within restrictive lenses? How do we move within limitation? Even if we still have limitation, how do we expand beyond it but move within limitation as well? And a lot of this is how we navigate our own realms, how we navigate the life path, the game, or the maze that is Earth School, right? Is recognizing that we're constantly evolving. We're also constantly expanding and contracting. And if we're still existing within limitations, what are the baby steps that we can take every single day to expand beyond those things? And to give ourselves an opportunity to be kind and gentle to ourselves, to not judge the fact that we have these limitations or judge other people that have these limitations, but being able to really take a step back and find what is our expanded viewpoint of all these things that are going on in our own lives, and what is the wisdom that expands into the entire time frame of my life here on planet Earth, right? And this is a part of that download of expansion, right? Of processing these timelines and processing these key codes and really processing all of this garbaggio that we're shifting out in our own lives. Is, how do I take this nugget of wisdom? How does it apply to me here and now in this present moment? And then if I stretch that across the bandwidth of all time space in my life, how does it fit into that greater picture as well? Because what it's keying into, into our internal, I don't want to call it a warning system, but it kind of is. It's that internal compass, okay, that gives us the pulse of yeses and nos in our own body, which is the intuitive connection, the intuitive communication link, which is our soul communicating to us. And you can feel it. Have you ever encountered a situation and you feel your light glow and it's like boom, 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 and it's either like, yes, your heart expands and ignites, or you feel the constriction within your body and your body's telling you no. That's an important communication link to your own soul of what's for you, what's right for you. When you're playing in fear, that's that intuitive knowing. And that's the fine tuning, that's the dialing in that we're getting into in the energetic awareness and in the level of expansion that we're all facing right now. And so then, the thing is that we can take these moments throughout the next couple of days, and especially with the full moon in Virgo going on, to release at deeper and deeper levels, right? And to go, right now, I can really take this opportunity to just let go of everything and blast forward into what the newness is, because there's brand new reality streams that are opening up to us, right? And a lot of that is as we're shifting out the timelines, a lot of people can feel pinned, kind of stuck. Let's talk about the limitations of Saturn and the restrictions of Saturn. When we're in flux and we're dissolving all these timelines and we're in transition, you can kind of feel like there's nothing to do but just be. That place of surrender provides a lot for ourselves. A lot. I know that there's been a few people who've been feeling this recently, that feeling of being pinned down or stuck or limited or like not knowing what to do. That not knowing is where we start to step into trust and faith. And this is where we surrender to the fact that there is a divine pathway, right? There's a divine pathway, there is a plan. Our universe is supporting us through that. And right now might not be the go window to move. It might be the time that we need to take a step back, pause, and allow things to shift that need to shift. Right? So it's important as we're going through these like time warps and these passageways, and we're clearing out these pathways and we're clearing out these timelines, that when they review and they come up at deeper levels, we're clearing out a deeper layer of it. Aho, beautiful, so mote it be. But that we don't need to play in the dirty laundry anymore, guys. That we actually have a freshness of spirit, we have a freshness of essence, we have a freshness of what this newness is for us, that we have an opportunity to be able to play with today. But we have to invite and call that forward, right? So as we are going through this passageway and this influx in our own lives, what are you calling forward as an experience? How can you crystallize that into your beingness? How can you crystallize this into your pathway? What is it that you want to call forward? Is there family that you want to see, right? Is there people, places that you want to go to, right? Like, especially as we're experiencing this liberation, there's a lot of stuff with travel, especially with the weather getting warmer. Like, where are we going to go? What are we doing? You know, who are we meeting up with? There is a collective migration that's going on too. There's a lot of people that are in flux, in motion, in movement right now to their next newness, whether this is an energetic room, whether it's an actual like vibrational bandwidth that we harmonize, a new collective experience, or it's an actual physical movement, right? Is that then we can call forward, what are those experiences I need? And then how do I crystallize those resources into being? Once again, there is a collective limitation that's going on with the economic stuff, at least here in the United States, but we don't have to play in those constructs. Actually separate ourselves from those constructs, and we can invite in what the abundant resources are within us that we're celebrating and we're igniting and calling forward, so we can have an experience for ourselves, right? So once again, guys, we don't have to play into the collective themes and the collective regime. That's the word I'm hearing, collective regime. We can actually play into what the newness of ourselves is as creator beings embodied, and to recognize that there are no limitations in the expansive and abundant universe that we choose to consciously co-create in, and that we can receive in so many different ways. We truly can receive in different ways for ourselves, especially with the experiences that we're calling forward, right? So it really is about igniting the vision for hope, igniting the freedom, and igniting the liberation moving forward for all of us. That's going to be really important for marking the trajectories of what we're calling forward as a collective experience. Freedom of body, freedom of mind, freedom of soul, freedom within sovereign self, and freedom to navigate as we wish, freedom to move as we wish. No more locked doors. Gracias. Has anyone else seen Next Friday? He's like, no more locked doors. Gracias. You know, that's the feeling, right? Is that the collective purge and the collective awakening is basically dissolving the locked doors. And where we had limitations, we're kicking down those walls and those barriers from within, and we're expanding beyond those things and gifting ourselves an opportunity to ignite with freedom and liberation. So Equinox, liberation focused, right? Liberation focused. How can you liberate yourself from who you were? How can you liberate yourself from the mucky muck? How can you give yourself an opportunity to be free just as you are, free in expression, free in surrender, free within serenity, free within knowing, and really liberate yourself to be able to go have a beautiful life and a beautiful adventure again. Right? And then, of course, how does this unify and meet with other people? You know, yesterday I noticed a pocket or a bandwidth hit, and I discussed it last night in Sacred Ceremony. And by the way, thank you to everybody who came to Sacred Ceremony last night for Tuesdays with Corey. It was really beautiful. Oh, the Endars were so happy. And yeah, we have stuff that kicks up when we're done with ceremony, but we get through it. We pass through it. It's easy. It's getting easier and easier now. But it was a beautiful ceremony. Thank you for coming out. Thank you so much to everyone that came. It was really cool. It was really beautiful. Yesterday, this bandwidth hit within the collective as I was going live, which was opening up to receive support. And I was like, wow. Like, it was really interesting seeing us hit this bandwidth yesterday as a community of not being able to receive support. And how it was coming through was like, yeah, I want support, but not that support. Like, yeah, I want to receive, but not that way. And it's like, okay. You put it in order at Amazon. It's being shipped FedEx. And you're like, nah, I need UPS. I don't accept FedEx deliveries. Universe is like, you're asking to receive right now. And now you're the one that's putting the choice on whether it comes via FedEx or UPS. Good luck with that one. And a lot of that was, it was really interesting to hit. And I was like, wow, guys, us as a community can't even receive love and support right now. Like, we were fighting. The collective was fighting receiving love. I'm like, wow. But that in itself was Chiron. And that's a part of that transitional energy, is when we need to kind of close up and just kind of be within ourselves, which is a very important thing. But also witnessing within my own life and within the others' lives of the collective field that I was in is like, wow, how many people are really cool with struggling? Oh, easier life? Nah, I'll struggle. Just let me struggle. And it's like, guys, we don't have to learn in that way. It was one of those things that was like really fascinating to see how we can't receive support, or how we don't like the support we see. Maybe how we judge it, right? Maybe how we judge it. And it was really fascinating. And it's like, okay, guys, so a lot of this, the unconditional loving support thing, but also too is where are we not allowing ourselves to be supported? Not only by one another, but our own light and our own consciousness. There's a level of autonomy that is really coming forward in sovereignty with the internal supports, which is beautiful. But also for us unifying as a tribe is very much so important, of being able to receive support from one another. Right. So what we are doing is we're really fine-tuning on some of these details right now. I know in my own life I'm fine-tuning them and becoming more consciously aware by being an observant, how I'm going to reparent my inner child, how I'm reparenting myself, and also how I'm being a guardian of my own life and being a guardian of my own future and a guardian of my own pathway. Let alone, all of us here being guardians for planet Earth, and all of us here being guardians for one another, or guardians for the children, or being gatekeepers or grid workers or grid keepers, right? All of us being our crystalline pillar of beautiful creation, right? Is letting the struggle dissolve and resolve, and to recognize, guys, it's a collective addiction. Suffering is a collective addiction. The more that we separate from that, the more we see it doesn't make sense. But when we're within it, it makes sense. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you. Yeah, we're rocking the Bumblebee. We're rocking the Bumblebee today. Last night I got my robes back. Oracle of Delphi. I got my robes back, and so we're back in Bumblebee mode today, as the beekeepers are here. If you know about the beekeepers, if you know about the Thriae, if you know about the original oracles, yeah, the beekeepers are here. The wisdom keepers are here. The messengers are here. Oh, we're here, baby. Oh, we're here. We're not going anywhere. Oh, I love it when the goddess is back. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so we are the guardians of our own pathway. We are the gatekeepers of our new trajectories. We are the gatekeepers of our own journey. And so, yeah, we are, we're here. We're here, baby. We're here and we're doing our thing. We're here and we're doing our thing, right? But we're the collective suffering, the collective struggle has been a thing, right? And some people still want to go play in there, and we really don't have to. We really don't have to. And a lot of it in igniting in and allowing us forward and through to exist in those higher consciousness trajectories, or those higher harmonic ranges, or deepening the self-love and the self-care, is really knowing how to let go of that and how to grieve the loss of suffering. Why would one grieve the loss of suffering? Well, if you've been best friends with a narrative for a long time, it leaving your body can feel painful. it can feel like heartache. It can feel like a breakup, right? Because you're now coming into a new nutrient system, right? If anyone's ever cleansed their diet or ever shifted out of anything, or anyone that's ever quit drugs, you know exactly what I mean. Is that as you're navigating a detoxification of a substance from your body, you feel it and you can grieve it at some level, including some of these narratives. But just because we're letting go of a suffering narrative and we're grieving doesn't mean we have to step into another suffering narrative, right? Like, and I've seen that you're clearing suffering, so you're grieving the suffering, and so then you suffer some more, and it's like, oh God, guys, what are we doing here? Let it go, right? And we're all figuring out what it is to detach from the addiction of suffering within the old realms, and where we are awakening to the ease, grace, and flow of what the future is here and now, and what those future pathways mean for ourselves. So a lot of it is working with our own inner children, and then really, you know, keeping the pulse on taking care of our kids and our own programming, what we're sharing with them, what we are teaching our own children, and also how we're supporting our children too. Not only our own inner child, but our own children in the world, you know, and where we're allowing them to flourish and to expand, and we're not giving them limitations, right? So a lot of the learning here and a lot of this for myself has been about where I'm witnessing my own limitations, letting them go, doing what I can to expand beyond them, to rewrite the narrative and to share a new story, but then also recognizing that there is a freedom, there is a reason for this, there's a reason for this, there's a reason for this. And a lot of that is for our children. A lot of it is for our kids. Whether you're a parent or you're not, it's witnessing that for some of us, we don't want our future generations to go through what we went through, and we don't want them to have the limitations that we had. We want to hand down, hand forward, hand off the wisdom, the sage wisdom, to let them be freer at different, at you know, more and more levels. It's getting loud back there. Anyway, I'm gonna read through. Lily has the same hoodie. Heck yeah. Yeah, we're wearing the sun. Well, so, and the interesting thing, guys, about suffering is suffering can give you attention too. How many of you have a survivor story? Raise your hand in the class. Class, if you have a survivor story, raise your hand. How many times have you gotten attention from your survivor story? How many people gave you a hug because you're a survivor? How many people kissed your ass and gave you money because you were a survivor? How many people helped you out with miracles because you're a survivor? Great, that's awesome, but at some point we have to let go of the survivor story as well, because it can feed our attention, especially if we do not know how to receive divine love without the story. So here's the thing that would happen with me, and I will refer to myself within this construct and within this context to give you guys some inspiration, is being homeless, right? Being homeless. Don't you know what I went through? Right, and you know, anytime someone's overcome an obstacle and has stepped into their winning spirit, there's always a reward for that, right? Oh my gosh, you poor thing, you've been through so much. Here, have a hot meal. Hey, oh my gosh, you've been through so much. Relax, let go, I'll take care of you, right? And as a result, it receives attention, and it's like, yo, like, how can I receive love or attention? Like, and I don't want to say attention, but how can I receive from other people without having to navigate that storyline, right? Because once again, some of those storylines, like, think about the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. Beautiful movie, by the way. Beautiful movie. Beautiful storyline, beautiful ending, just everything gorgeous about The Pursuit of Happiness. But look at the imprint that it creates within humanity, right? The underdog rising up. Beautiful story. It's a beautiful story of contrast. Here's someone who went from nothing and became something. That's alchemy. I have nothing. I stay in my hope, I stay in my trust, I pray, I keep doing what I'm doing, and eventually I see results. Eventually my manifestation comes in. Eventually my creation solidifies, it crystallizes into my beingness, and I hold it within my reality and I honor it. The underdog rising up is a beautiful story. It inspires hope for humanity. It accelerates life path. It gives purpose. I see it. But once it's done, do you have to keep identifying with it? Do you have to keep identifying with it? you have to keep identifying with it. Because the poor baby story, it can keep a version of the child stuck in a loop. It could be stuck in a crisis mode. It could be stuck in the traumatic situation, and we never get to fully dissolve and resolve because we're still receiving something from that trauma. And so for all of us individually, it's about going within and knowing our self-worth and self-value, and knowing that we don't have to play by those stories, and we also don't need to receive from those stories anymore either, right? And there's a lot of encouragement. Yes, time to write new chapters, right? Is like, it's going from the beggar, you know, to the one who really truly flourishes. And to recognize, like, to dissolve some of these stories takes time, guys. I was on the street for quite a few years. I've been doing the struggle thing for quite a while too. And to end the suffering and to end the struggle, I've been working on it for 3 years. I'm doing it on my own. And it's day by day, moment to moment, right? So I by no means have perfected this, right? But also too, guys, is that, like, when it comes to the suffering isn't always tied to money. Suffering can be tied to emotional well-being. Suffering, saying I'm not going to suffer anymore doesn't mean that I'm just going to be making $6,000 a month and be pampered every day. No, it means that my emotional well-being is going to be better off, and I'm not going to land in situations that are catalytic or disruptive or that are going to be harming me anymore. That which I'm calling forward into existence here and now, the intentionality that I'm calling forward into my newness, that intention, is it flourishing expansion or is it flourishing collapse? Am I propagating the awareness of I'm expanding, or am I propagating that which collapses? Am I going for the low bearing fruit, or am I going for just a little bit more? Am I stretching myself just a little bit more to do a little bit more, to become a little bit more, so I can receive a little bit more? Where do I still have distorted views on love? And where do I still keep propagating awarenesses that I'm calling forward friends, situations, partnerships that are a distorted form of love, or a toxic love, or a sadistic love? Because that's the way that I learn. Pain is a teacher. Pain is a teacher. But it's like, do you really want to be in that classroom anymore? Do you still want to navigate that classroom? Because you can graduate. You can graduate and say, pain's still going to exist. I'm still going to feel throughout my day. I'm still going to have experience that's going to hurt. It's going to break me down, break open, break through. But I don't have to call forward pain as a teacher as well. I can also witness and call forward the love to ignite in what that is for me to be held, cherished, honored, and embraced for just as I am, as the soul signature, as the soul essence. It doesn't mean that we're going to live a pain-free reality. By God, no. Okay? We still live in a world of contrast. We still live in a world of experience. Pain still teaches, right? But it's about how much do we have to endure and how much do we have to tolerate to grow and to flourish, right? So it's important right now, guys, that we put an end to the suffering within. We put an end to the struggle, and we take this gateway, this flux, to really sit and harmonize with Gaia, to harmonize with our purpose, to harmonize with our own internal communication links, with our own essence, with our own divinity, and to really go, what am I ready to let go of right now? What do I need to take a look at? Like, what chapters do I need to close? No matter how uncomfortable it feels, no matter how much it's going to suck, what can I let go of at deeper and deeper levels? And how can I open up to receive more flow and to receive what the universe is trying to give me here and now, which is a miracle, which is a blessing, which is a whole new reality, a whole new world, right? It's coming through, guys, and it's available. Once again, it's birthed from within us, though. It's not handed to us on a silver platter. If you came into awakening expecting New Earth to be handed to you by a delivery driver, saying, here's New Earth, have a great day, good luck with that one. This is birthed from within you. These realms, this heaven, it's all birthed from within you. And it's through the death, the transformation, the rebirth, the awakening from within, and holding that higher light, holding that light within the form, holding those harmonics, holding those bandwidths and those ranges to birth that from within. That's the only way it's birthed. It's not handed to us, right? It's gifted to us through experience, and then we get to choose it from within ourselves. So contrast can be a gift. Polarity can be a gift. And then finding neutrality within those points and within the squeeze points is really cool too. Right? So let's look at the collective squeeze. There's sometimes in some situations as we're navigating out that we have to shrink really small to get through that passageway. Think of the eye of the needle, right? And how we thread that into our beingness. How we take that cosmic thread and we weave it right into the pinhole and we shift through it. That's that collapse. That's that feeling really small. Which happens, it happens. It's an important part of awakening, is when we need to stay in our beautiful expanded state and when we need to kind of go small to go within, because that contraction brings up all the restriction. We shift it through, we dump it out, we expand on the other side, and there we are in a whole new room. Imagine that there's one energetic bandwidth, there's a mouse hole, and another energetic bandwidth. Like there's a room, mouse hole, and a room. You want to get to the other room. Sometimes we have to go really small, get to be that little tiny mouse, squeak on through, get the cheese, go to the other side, expand back out into a bigger creation or a bigger room for ourselves, one that's more flourishing and expansive. And right now, that's what can happen with a lot of when we are going through these squeeze points and a lot of these triggers, is it's us going really small because we're fitting through a very small pinhole and we're about to expand on the other side. This is how our transformation works, right? So we're changing rooms. Just like yesterday, for the ceremony, we were playing Trevor Hall's We in a Different Room, right? Which, guys, we're in a different room now. We're in a new bandwidth. We're in a new container, right? Now let's navigate it. And if you don't feel like you're in a new container, what do you still need to let go of because you're still in transition? How many people have been in the waiting room for a really long time too? If you know about the waiting room, you know about the waiting room, where you're like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? But it's about the journey, not the destination, guys. It's about the journey. And a lot of that is relaxing and surrendering into the journey. It's relaxing and surrendering into the fact that we're here on a journey. We just let it be just as it is and we can coast with it. But we can also take the energetic momentum that is provided through us through these gateways, through these influxes, through the solar codes, through all of this stuff, and we can use that to propel ourselves forward and to move into a whole new trajectory and a whole new life for ourselves. But once again, it's a feeling state. It is a feeling state. It's a feeling state. And that feeling state will embody more of our receptivity, and how we connect with other people, because it's within the feeling state. It is also how we respond. That's basically kind of our own internal temperature gauge or our internal pressure gauge to know how we're responding to our environment, to our situations. And that is a soul communication link to let us know where we still need to depressurize, where we still need to stabilize, what we still need to let go of, and what we are ready to call forward and in for ourselves as a creation. So what is it that you are calling in for yourselves, right? What is it that you are calling in for yourself right now? What is it that you want for the next season of shift and change, individually and collective? And keep your heart on that. Keep your pulse on what it is that you desire to call forward for yourself as an experience. And call it forward, call it in. Right? And then take the momentum of this energy to just keep dissolving. You can either let the universe take it from you, or you can go within and start shifting it out yourself. And a lot of it is having to rest. A lot of it is having to rest. A lot of it is having to go within and to make that conscious choice, which we all can do. And if you need help with this, if you need help making conscious decision or reviewing, or you need some clarity, or you're feeling stuck, reach out. foundersoflight@gmail.com. All my links are in the description box. If you need something and you want to have a discussion, reach out to me. If you can't afford it and you need it, just email me. We'll talk. Throughout my course in this journey, I've had a lot of people that there was times where I couldn't afford it and they helped me out. Right? So I do not want money to be a limitation for you. Right? But I also have discernment and I also have intuitive knowing. So I will know. Right? So if I do say no, just note, there's a reason why. There's a reason why. I unconditionally love and I unconditionally support people, but there are times where it's come up and I'm like, my universe goes, nope, don't. And I choose to listen to that, right? But at the end of the day is that when it comes to clarity, when it comes to receiving this stuff and receiving these gifts and these blessings and receiving that realignment or that knowing, we can also work with one another to get through this stuff. Because you guys, no man is an island and you're not alone, right? Think about the lion pride, right? We're a pride. We're working together here. The lions are roaring together. You heal me, I heal you. And that's the clarion heart call that's going out. It's like, guys, the pride is here, and we're banding together. We're stronger than we've ever been. And now that the lions are here and the lions are out of the cage, woof, rawr, right? We're here for one another. Right? We're here for one another, and we're taking care of things, and we're taking care of one another, right? So please feel free to reach out if you need clarity, if you need insight, if you need help with anything. Please just reach out. 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 And if you don't want to reach out, reach deeper within. If you don't want to reach out, reach deeper within. If you don't want to reach out, reach deeper within. Reach deeper within. Reach deeper within. Grab a hold of that intuition. Grab a hold of that soul and listen. And listen. All right. So let's see. Oh, the Spady, the crows are really loud. The crows are here. I love the crows. Yeah, blue jays. Blue jays are beautiful. So much bird energy, bird imagery coming through the bird tribe. Yep. Thank you for sharing that, Betty. What's up, DKL? Good to see you. Good to see you. Genevieve, Morgana, welcome, 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 welcome. Michelle, welcome. Welcome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't think we're doing cards today. I brought the cards out, but like, I don't know. We're gonna get new cards. I think that's it. I think that it's time to get new cards. Time to get new decks, but not right now. Not right now. So how's everyone feeling? How's everyone doing? We're playing with Aqua Mama today. Aqua Fire. Aqua Fire is here. Aqua Fire is here. How's everyone doing? Yes, I kiss my crystals. 12:34. Beautiful. Yes, I kiss my crystals. You show them love, they love you back. You take care of them, they take care of you back. It's really cool. It's a symbiotic relationship with the crystalline kingdom. Awesome, guys. Well, we're still in Equinox Flux. We might be doing some sacred ceremony this weekend. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't tuned in. There was a thought poem that came through about potentially doing an Equinox gateway. We'll see whether it's just gonna be live on YouTube or whether it's actually gonna be a sacred ceremony. We really can celebrate this influx and call forward what this newness is for ourselves, and to recognize, guys, we're liberated. We're free. We're able to give each other hugs now. We're able to go out into public and not wear masks in a lot of places. And in a lot of places, we are inviting in that freedom where we can walk and breathe and feel safe as that. And I know that's not everywhere, but a part of this liberation is that I'm going to take that energy and embody it fully, and I'm going to share that through the grids and share that with whoever needs it, and let them stand in their empowerment to be able to walk freely as well. Right? Walk freely and know that they don't have to get held within those constructs, and that they can liberate themselves as well. And that's the invitation point for the collective, and the reason why we call forward these experiences and this wisdom and these pathways is because we want humanity liberated, which means everyone. It doesn't mean a select few. And that's, I think, a part of this unconditionality is like whether you support this awakening, this ascension or not, is that we still want you free and we still love you because you deserve it. You deserve to have the wholeness of you with you. You deserve to have your freedom. You deserve to have all of your unconditional love back. You deserve to have all of your powers back, and you have a right to free will, and you have a right to choose. And that's a part of what we call forward for humanity because it's important. Whether you like us or not, whether you're rooting on the light or you're not, whether you're talking behind our backs about us or not, whether you're gossiping about us or not, we love you. And we just want you free. We want you liberated because we want you to feel what we've had tastes of and what many people are thriving within now, because we know you're worth it. We know you're worth it. So I love you guys. Much love and respect to everyone out there. Thank you for all the likes, shares, and subscribes. We're just reviving, renewing, and calling forward all new from deep within. Right. So as we close the doors on this sacred ceremony, okay, I invite you to come back to your love, to come back into your wholeness and to come back into your knowing, to ground, center, and stabilize with who you are here and now, and invite in liberation, to invite in freedom, to invite in peace, to invite in truth, and to invite in clarity in your own life. Uche etanda nas endo ukumo uane kiyama. Tuune eta eshendo uno sa atevaru undu kerashinu. Keep calling back your power, guys. Keep witnessing the magic. Keep calling forward that support. Keep calling forward those freedoms. Keep loving yourself eternally, right? I'm proud of you all as well. Thank you, Michelle, for saying that. I'm proud of you guys. Whether or not you can feel it, sense it, or see it, we've done so much just in the past month. Holy crap. And then to like really start reflecting on what's been happening since 2020. Yo. Houston, we've got a solution. Yeah, no problem. Betty, thank you. Thank you everyone for who's here. Thank you for everyone that's been reaching out, that's just showing up and like showing the love and supporting the community and being a part of this tribe. I love you guys. I love you guys. There's so much, like, we're finding one another right now, and we're finding each other in the ethers, we're finding each other here on these platforms. And you know, the thing is community is a shared experience too. So we are like, you know, sharing the tribe, we're sharing one another, we're pointing people in directions, right? Because it's not like I'm the only way shower and you only follow me. It's like, no, guys, we have a gigantic freaking school, a huge freaking library that's called Planet Earth, right? If you don't like this room, like there's a classroom down the road, or there's like somewhere you can go over here, right? Like we have the beauty to choose from a buffet and smorgasbord of like beautiful wisdom and beautiful knowing, whether it's like you want to learn about the light body, or you want to work with the soul, or you want to work with the mysteries, or you want to work with the galactics, or you want to work with the elementals, or you want to work with the gates, or you want to work with the grids, or you want to work with science and technology, or you want to work with sacred mathematics or sacred geometry, or you want to learn about ancient building, you want to learn about mastery. Like, you have free will choice on where you want to go in Ascension School, guys. So like the thing is that if there's messages that don't resonate, is like a lot of this community thing too, is we're showing up and we're like, hey, if you don't like this classroom, I invite you to go over there and to check out that classroom, right? Because we have a buffet of really beautiful mind melting abilities, and we have a buffet of really cool magic that we're all tapped into. And if we just listen to the call of where our magic is taking us to, we will find those people that we resonate with, where we get to share our magic together, and we get to have fun with it and embrace the beauty of all that magic, because it's our heart light. It's the magic of our light. It's the magic of our heart, and how that soul expression of love carries through the form, pulsates out through the field, and how we change realities based upon our own love and based upon our own light of our own diamond beautiful excellence. All right, guys. So I love you all. Much love and respect to everyone out there. Thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. If you'd like to donate, links in the description box. By no means necessary, but it helps. It helps Cord get around, helps Cord get food, helps to keep his business thriving, and it helps me to feel supported so I can show up more and do more. And it helps me. It helps me. So thank you guys for being here. Once again, by no means a requirement, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We're just going to keep showing up. We're going to keep doing the do and being the be, and I invite you to do the same. All right? Love yourself, hold yourself, honor yourself, respect yourself, and remember, we are in Equinox Passageway. We're in full moon. We're in a lot of that sacred ceremonial time, right? So if you need to go within, you feel that call to just step into the sacred temple and to just be with yourself, that's a great place to be. It's a great place to be. Hi, Alexa. I've not seen Alexa in a while. How are you, beautiful? Good to see you. Good to see you. So yeah, guys, these passageways are very ceremonial. It's very sacred ceremonial, right? So if you feel that call to go into nature, like slow down, or to be quiet, or to be a little bit more peaceful, right? Go for it, man. Flow with ceremony. This is your ceremony. There's no, like, if you want to follow a tradition and a guideline and a rule book, cool, but you can freaking toss the rule book out the window and paint outside the lines when it comes to your ceremonial practice. So I invite you to practice and embody what your ceremony is, whether it's a walk, a meditation, listening to music, talking to the trees, dancing, kicking back, relaxing. Anything could be sacred ceremony, as long as you choose to set the intention as such and see everything as sacred within that moment. Okay. Have fun, guys. Have fun. I will see you guys soon. Ciao.